It was for me.
Yeah.
Those were very hard, sad, depressed, painful times for me.
Yeah.
I hated going to school because I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. And I hated who I was. Like, there was a hatred.
Now, was it physically, like you didn't like who?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, people, we all pick our own flaws, but
Yeah.
you didn't like who you saw, or
Mm-hmm.
was it also like inside you didn't feel? It must have been like self-esteem, like you just didn't feel good about yourself.
Both.
You didn't feel like you had worth in the world.
I hated the way I looked. Mm-hmm. Total body dysmorphic disorder. Like I hate, and I still do in many ways. I work around it a little bit now, but hated the way I looked. Like severe depression from that, and then just the no drive, which came from I hate the way I look. So if you feel like you look ugly, and it's weird now because now I'll see some pictures of myself from high school, junior high, and I'm like, I wasn't that bad looking, really.
No, you weren't.
But almost any picture you could get from me from high school, almost every second, my thoughts were consumed with you're ugly,
Wow.
like bad.
Wow.
So when you feel you're ugly, and not feel like you know it, and you've embraced it, and it's who you are, you can't function. Like, so I just couldn't function. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. I was just like, don't go talk to that group of people. You're ugly. They don't want to talk to you. Don't. So I was a loner. I was definitely in school. Like I was friends with Sam, of course, and I had a tight little group. But outside of that group, I didn't talk to anybody. Never. Like, so it was very depressing. I had no confidence, no self-esteem. I would like talk really low into my breath, and I would just kind of mumble, and I would,
Wow.
and definitely not a go-getter, definitely not the type of person that felt that you could make things happen. And man, it all shifted. It's weird. Now I think I can do anything. I think the only person stopping me from accomplishing things in my life is me. And I think that mindset needs to be.
That's a good mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to adapt that.
People blame everything else, on why they're not successful on everybody else because, my boss did this or my husband did this or my kid did this or whatever. Like these are the reasons why you're not doing what you want to do or what you're, or setting goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And taking action.
Yeah.
You can set goals all day long.
Right.
But if you don't move on it.
Yeah.
So what I would recommend if you're that type of person like I was, so here I got my sister confirming everything I've said on the show for a long time, is that you set your goals, set small goals, and just start. It almost like you gain momentum. So set a small goal. Like tomorrow, you should commit to what are you going to do for your exercise tomorrow. And do that. So that's one thing you could do. You could say, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm going to do this. And then do it, whatever it is. I'm going to pick that shirt off the floor that's been laying there for 3 weeks for whatever, and pick it up and either throw it away or put it in the laundry or whatever. And then you've done one thing.
Right.
Now what's the next thing you could do? And it's almost like I'm going to go read this book. I commit to reading this book, and I will have it read in 2 weeks. Read that book then. And hopefully it's a book about change, about self-improvement, about just something. Start giving yourself momentum slowly and watch how it's weird because once it starts, it's like it starts compounding and then it starts moving quicker and faster and you saw the immediate change.
Yeah. And anytime you do it, even the smallest task, you get like the sense of accomplishment. And so I think it kind of motivates you to keep going. Like I make myself a list every day of the things I need to do. And it sounds so corny, but I get such pride of crossing it off the list. Like, okay, I picked up my dry cleaning, cross it off the list. Run to the grocery store, cross it off the list, Whatever it is, go to the gym, cross off the list. Go to work, cross off the list. And it's like, by the end of the day, I saw all these things that I did, and it makes you feel good.
You know what that is? It's goal setting.
Yeah.
If you literally say, like, even if it's just go to the store today and buy eggs, and then you get home, scratch it off the list, that's goal setting and accomplishing that goal.
Sure.
And that's what you do to start building momentum. So you're already kind of in the habit of doing that. Now start doing it towards things that you want to either change, improve, work on, whatever it is, learn new things too. That's another thing. Like you said, I was reading like crazy. That's true. And I've started learning more. I had such a closed world. Like I liked this and I did this and I watched that. And that was my world.
Yeah.
Now I started saying like, you know what? I don't know anything about whatever. What can I learn about that? And I almost intrigued by like learning things outside of my comfort level. Josh and I, again, have talked about it many times where this whole show is about, like, neither one of us have broadcasting experience. Mm-hmm. But that was that's the intriguing part of it. Look at Melinda, and I'm assuming you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and Melinda were scared to death to go on air tonight.
Yes.
You said your neck was going to turn red.
Yes.
Your neck turned red. I was watching.
Yeah.
Melinda was red.
Yeah.
Melinda was scared. And then she was supposed to leave by 8 o'clock, like 7:55ish, to get home to Madeline.
Yeah, and she was even signaling you, like, let me talk. I have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, because the time was flying.
Time was flying, and
Yeah.
she didn't want to leave. She stayed here till 8:30, where before she probably didn't want to stay for 5 minutes.
Right.
So, hopefully to Melinda, that's like something that's going to get her going now and start, like, she can do things outside of her comfort level. And that'll start to build confidence. And then she can say, you know what, I can't do that, but maybe I should just throw myself into that now and see what happens or learn from those mistakes. A lot of success comes from mistakes.
Oh, sure.
So learning what if you're absolutely, like, driven to, I am going to accomplish that goal, period. Like, if you're just, I'm a shark and I'm going to make that happen, and if what you're doing doesn't work, it almost becomes inspirational. Because you're like, good, now I found something else that doesn't work. I'm one step closer to reaching my goal. As soon as I get through all these things that don't work, I'm at my goal. So it almost becomes, like, powerful to, like, oh, great, I failed. Awesome. I know it doesn't work now. What's the next thing I can try? That didn't work either. All right, great. Each time you do that, you're getting one step closer to your goal. And once you hit your goal, like you said, you get that confidence. You get to scratch it off the list. Now, what's the next thing? There was one time... I'm kind of a little repetitive, but off a little bit. Like, I just had this list of all these things I wanted to accomplish. Like I said, I accomplished every one of them, but it was powerful to, like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And some of them were just so, like, it had nothing to do with really improvement or changing my life, but it was getting into that habit. I don't know what it was or why, but I remember writing down, read the book The Jackal. and I read it, and I remember that was on my, I crossed it off.
Yeah.
It was just, but that was, like, the least of, like, anything that created change.
Right.
Most of it was, whatever, lose this much weight, run this every day, start eating, whatever. It was all like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And then, like, it just happened I remember, like, I felt very almost Superman-ish. I felt very, like, powerful because it just happened so fast. I was like, I almost felt like this glow inside of me because almost overnight, as you said in the beginning of the show, I went from one person to another person. And I felt like a train. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't be stopped right now. Everything that I am working towards, it's happening. And, I mean, that's powerful stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I went from a machine shop making no money to the office that I envisioned making a lot of money. And I don't ever say that to brag. I just say that, like, I designed a life for myself that didn't exist. It did not exist until I pursued it, until I made it happen. It's a powerful feeling. I would still be in a machine shop, not even that one because I moved around so much, but I would still be in a dirty, grimy machine shop, and absolutely not knocking anyone that works in a machine shop, but these were inferior machine shops. Working with the same type of people, I was surround yourself with successful people.
Well, and imagine, like, who you would be. Who you wouldn't have married Melinda. You would have, I mean, hopefully not married anybody, because I can't imagine who you would have married being that person, because you had no self-esteem. You had no goals for yourself.
Yeah.
So
I would probably just married the first girl that came around that gave me any kind of attention. I was like, wow, she actually likes me. All right, fine.
Right, and she would have stepped all over you and would have. Yeah.
It just, it wasn't a good place to be because I felt like I was a victim. I felt like woe is me, poor me. I can't make anything happen. I can't do anything. Outside blame. All of that changes. Take responsibility. That's why I don't adhere to it. I don't listen to it. You hear me or read me on Facebook. I'm very vocal about I can't stand excuses. I can't stand I can't because it makes me so mad. Whatever. Let's just use it to play everything safe here. I can't because I'm a woman, and I can show you.
I don't know if that's safe, but
no, but I mean, like, where no one's gonna hit me. But I've heard people say that. I've heard people say, "I can't because I'm a woman."
Yeah.
Really? I can name thousands of women that want the same thing you want, but you just said you can't do it because you're a woman. So how did this woman do it? How did this woman do it? How did this woman do it? How this? Don't. In other words, don't. I'm very vocal about this, as you know. Don't say you can't because. Say find examples of people who have because of whatever it is you're similar to them, and do it. Like I used to have the mentality I can't because, and then that's all. It was an excuse. Now I know that I can. And there's people that came from even less than what I have and are way more successful than I am.
Right.
So it's your belief system.
Right.
If you believe you can't, you might as well just throw in the towel right there because you're right.
Right.
If you believe you can't or you can, you're right. And I think that was Henry. I believe that's a quote from Henry Ford. You're right. If you can or you cannot, if that's your belief, you're right. So that's it. Don't say you can't because then you can't.
Right.
Say you can.
Right.
Sometimes don't even know how you can. Surround yourself with successful people. Surround yourself with people who are achieving what you want to achieve. Start asking them questions. That's the other thing, too. A lot of successful people, they like answering those types of questions. You can ask them, what did you do? How did you achieve this? How did you make this happen? Start interviewing them. Like I said, I'm listening to interviews with Robert Rodriguez. I have a whole new level of respect for him that I never even knew existed. I always liked his movies. That's about all I knew about him.
Right.
Now it goes so much deeper. Like I have a strong admiration for this man. But there's so many examples of people just like him.
Right.
So surround yourself with people like that. Start listening to interviews of people. They're all over YouTube. There's free podcasts. There's no excuse. In other words, the only excuse is the ones you're making.
Right, right.
Anybody.
Right.
So I hate excuses. I hate people. I can't because. Shut up. Stop. Now, if you're happy with where you're at.
Right. And I was going to say, and success is defined in so many different ways
course.
that it doesn't mean, like, even when you're speaking, it's not monetary or it's not how many things you have or whatever. It's success for yourself and however you want to define success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're, I'm very much into health and fitness because of longevity, because I want to have the energy to accomplish the goals I want to accomplish. I know a huge part of the reason I am successful is because of my health, because of the way I work out, because of the fruits and veggies I put in my body on a daily basis. I know that without exception. Okay. So, but if let's say, for example, if someone's overweight and they're happy being overweight,
right.
I'm not going to preach to them.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
What are you talking about? The only exception to that is I'd be concerned about their health.
Their health, right.
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 But you see some people, they're overweight, they're happy, they think they're the sexiest thing on the planet.
Man, them people, those larger than life women that are
Yeah.
all about like, I got my curves and like,
Yeah.
awesome. I wish I had that much self-esteem about my
Yeah.
body. Like, I think that's great. As long as they're healthy, that would be the only thing I'd be worried about. But
Right, the health part.
they love their curves. Men love their curves. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to change
No.
that person. I'm talking
Because they're so happy.
They're happy.
Right.
Yeah, if there's some people that were working in the machine shop mentality environment that I was in, and again, not all machine shops. I want to make that very clear. I don't want people to think I'm knocking machine shops. I'm not.
Right.
The kind that I worked in, but there's some people that is their end goal. They're happy. They're excited to work there.
Right.
They love turning that lathe.
They love
and
what they do.
Then that's awesome.
Yes.
I'm not talking to those people.
Yes.
I'm talking to people who want a different life and think that they can't do it.
Right.
You're nuts. You're insane if you believe that. And I did. So I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to the old Scott Ford. And so it's nice having you on the show because you were someone that got to witness both sides of me.
Yes.
And you got to see the transformation as it was happening.
yeah.
You were in that world. You were watching me from the outside and just seeing the weight loss and seeing the mindset and seeing the power and the reading and the things I was surrounding myself with. So it's good to have someone on the show that
can witness or
Yeah,
that
can
witnessed it all and,
Yeah.
and can attest that it can happen. It definitely can happen, and it did.
Would the guy that you knew back then, would he be where I am now?
No,
had I
God.
stayed the same?
No.
There you
no,
go,
no,
people.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Would never have stepped into a radio station. Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Not
never,
at all.
Never.
Would never even spoke up about anything. I mean, like I said before, head down, shoulders down, never talked, never depressed guy, grumpy at times.
Please, all the time. Would I have
Yeah.
a successful sales career?
No.
Would I